My family tried to turn me into free childcare while they took my brother to the New Year's party I paid for, but that night I made a choice that broke the rosy life they clung to. I can't wait for the New Year's party I paid for. I said, actually, you're staying home. Your brother and his kids are moving into your apartment. Mom smiled. Fine, I said. I reversed the charges, changed my address, and when he showed up with boxes, there was a for sale sign on the lawn and a folder with his name on it. I can't wait for the New Year's party, I said, laying the invitation and event schedule on the kitchen table. Seafood catering, DJ until 3 a.m., rooftop view. This year's going to be different. Mom didn't even look at me. She was slicing cheese on the counter, calm as ever. That's what I wanted to talk to you about, she said. You're not going. I froze. What? We're going to the party? She said, moving the cheese into a container. Your father, me, and Ryan. I stared. You mean the party I paid for? Dad chimed in from the couch, not even looking up from his newspaper. Technically, yeah, but Ryan really needs this. You know what he's been through? I turned to my brother, who was standing in the doorway holding his youngest. He didn't look uncomfortable at all. Kelly's been a nightmare, he said, like that explained anything. The kids are nonstop. I haven't had a break in weeks. So, you're taking my spot? I asked. At the party I paid for with the money I earned? You'll be doing something more important, Mom said. You're staying home with the kids. Ryan needs a break. You're serious? I said. We're just asking you to help out, she replied. No, I said. You're not asking. You already decided. Ryan shrugged. Come on, man, it's just one night. The kids love being with you. I laughed once. Of course they do. I'm the only one who actually takes care of them. Watch your tone, Dad said, still not looking at me. Oh, and one more thing, Mom added. Ryan's going to be staying with you for a while. What? He can't afford rent since the divorce? I asked. She said, like it was obvious, he'll move into your apartment with the boys, just until things calm down. I stared at her. You decided to move him and his kids into my place without asking? You live alone, Dad said flatly. There's room. I looked around. Mom was still chopping, Dad was still reading, and Ryan was now flipping through channels on the TV like he lived here. They'd all decided this before I even walked in. Fine, I said quietly. Go have fun. Mom glanced up at me. Really? Really, I said, turning and heading to my room. I shut the door behind me. They thought I was sulking. I wasn't. I was thinking about how to make sure this would be the last time they ever used me like this again. I went back to my apartment that night and just sat there in the dark. They'd already decided, that much was obvious. The party wasn't mine anymore. My apartment wasn't mine anymore. And apparently neither was my money. But this wasn't new. This had been building for months. Ryan moved back in with our parents after the divorce. First, he said it was temporary, just until he found a new place. He told me that 5 months ago. Since then, every second conversation was about how hard everything was, how Kelly left him with nothing, how the legal bills were piling up, how hard it was being a single dad. I listened, I helped, I even gave him money. Small things at first. Can you cover the kids' school shoes this month? Do you mind grabbing diapers while you're out? Hey man, can I borrow $100 to fix the stroller? And of course I always said yes. I told myself it was short term. I told myself I was doing the right thing, but then the asks got bigger. One week, it was $300 just to catch up on a bill. The next, it was groceries, then gas money, then Christmas presents for the kids because Kelly's being difficult. I didn't keep count at first. I should have. But by mid-December, I'd already sent over $1,000. And not once did he say thank you. Hey, Ryan said one afternoon while we were in the car, are you still living alone? Yeah, I said slowly. Nice. Your place has that second room, right? I nodded, but something in his tone made my stomach twist. He grinned. Would be way easier if I just moved in with you. I mean, no offense, but you don't even use that room. It's just sitting there. Are you serious? I asked. What? It makes sense. I already feel like I'm crashing at Mom's forever. It's getting weird. You've got space, no kids, no girlfriend. I didn't answer. Later that night, Mom called. We've been thinking, she said. It would be really helpful if Ryan and the boys stayed with you after New Year's.
What?
It's not permanent, she added quickly. Just until he figures things out, he needs a fresh start. And your place is quiet. It'll be good for the boys. You talked to Ryan about this? We all did, she said, like that was totally normal. He's excited. He says the kids love you. That's great, I muttered, because I haven't agreed to anything. She paused for a second, then said, Don't make this about you. He's struggling. That was the line I'd heard all year. Every time I tried to push back, it was don't be selfish. Every dollar I gave, it was, you don't have kids. You can afford it. Every holiday, every favor, every weekend spent babysitting, it was just help out a little. They called it family. But I was starting to realize what it really was, a one-way street, and I was always the one giving. The next morning, Ryan texted me a picture of bunk beds. Think this setup would fit in the extra room? No. Can we talk? No. Are you okay with this? Just an assumption. I stared at my phone for a long time. Then I opened my banking app, looked at the transfers, the cash, the gift cards, the birthday, presents, the pizza nights, the school trips, the utilities I paid just this once. I added it up in my head. My jaw clenched. Over $2,000 gone since summer, and now he wanted my space too. I felt something hard settle in my chest. No one ever asked how I was doing. No one cared what I was giving up. They just wanted more. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed, eyes wide open, my mind racing with everything I should have said, everything I should have done sooner. And around 3 a.m., I stopped thinking. I started doing. First, I pulled out my laptop and canceled every booking, the rooftop venue, the DJ, the seafood catering, the champagne order. Then I called my bank and reversed every charge I'd made for the New Year's Eve party. Each cancellation felt like a cut rope. Then I opened another tab and listed my apartment for sale. January 2nd arrived. The air was cold, the sky dull, but I felt sharper than ever. I had already moved into a short-term rental across town. Nothing fancy, just clean, quiet, mine. I packed 2 suitcases and left everything else behind. No calls, no texts, just vanished. But not without leaving something behind. At my old place, I taped a large envelope to the front door, a thick, heavy folder with Ryan Grant written across the top in red marker. And in the front yard, a bright red and white for sale sign hammered straight into the frozen lawn. 3:27 p.m., my phone lit up. Ryan texted, "On the way over. Kids are excited. Got all our stuff packed." I didn't answer. I was sitting in a cafe a few blocks away, watching it all unfold from a live security feed I'd installed a week earlier just in case. 15 minutes later, he pulled up in the minivan, kids in the back, seat, boxes, bags, a plastic storage bin full of toys in the trunk. He parked, got out, stretched, and smiled like he'd just arrived at Disneyland. Then he froze. His eyes landed on the sign, "For sale." The smile disappeared. He walked up the steps. The door didn't open. The lock had been changed. Then he saw the folder. He ripped it from the door, opened it, and started flipping through the contents. That's when the show really began. Inside the folder, page 1, a printed screenshot of the canceled venue reservation. Page 2, email confirmation that catering had been refunded, including the line, "Client requested full reversal due to fraudulent family interference." Page 3, a spreadsheet of every dollar I'd given Ryan over the past 12 months. Rent, groceries, kids' clothes, school fees. It was itemized, dated, totaled at the bottom, $3,845.77. Unpaid, unacknowledged, unappreciated. Page 4, a letter addressed to him. "Ryan, you assumed too much for too long. You thought I'd always say yes. You thought I had nothing better to do than sacrifice my time, money, and life for your mess. You were wrong. This is not your home. This is not your backup plan. This is not your fresh start. The only thing waiting for you here is the realization that the free ride is over. Happy New Year." Page 5, a printed photo, a screenshot from his call with a friend where he joked, "My brother's a failure, but he owes Mom, so it works out." Page 6, a copy of the realtor agreement. Page 7, notice of listing. Page 8, change of address confirmation. Page 9, utility transfer form. Page 10, a blank eviction form, just for show. He stood there, flipping through every page, his face slowly turning red, then white. "Daddy, can we go in?" One of his sons shouted from the back seat. He didn't answer. He just stood there, holding the folder like it had just detonated in his hands. Minutes later, Mom and Dad pulled up. They stepped out of the car, clearly expecting to help Ryan move in. Mom stopped in her tracks when she saw the sign. "Is this a joke?" she asked. Ryan handed her the folder, silent. She flipped through a few pages. Her face dropped as she got to the spreadsheet, then the letter, then the screenshot of his failure comment. Dad said nothing. He just sighed, deep and heavy. Mom turned to Ryan, her voice sharp. "Did you really say that?" "It was a joke," Ryan muttered. Dad looked at the house, then the sign, then the kids still waiting in the car. "He's gone," he said quietly. Mom's phone buzzed. She opened it. It was a group message from me sent to all 3 of them. "Don't contact me. Not about the apartment, not about babysitting, not about money." You made your choices, I've made mine, I'm done. That night, I didn't go to a party, I didn't open champagne. I didn't count down. I didn't celebrate the way I thought I would, but I did something better. I sat on the floor of my new place, quiet, alone. I made a frozen pizza, watched a stupid action movie, and slept like a rock. Because for the first time in my life, I didn't owe anyone anything, and no one was coming through my door with boxes ever again. For the first 24 hours, it was quiet. I kept my phone off, didn't check email, didn't open social media. I thought maybe they got the message. Maybe the folder said enough. But of course not. On the evening of January 3rd, my silence was broken. I was walking back from the grocery store when I saw the missed calls. 6 from Mom, 4 from Ryan, 2 from Dad, 1 from an unknown number. I turned the phone off again. I didn't want to read what they had to say. I already knew. That night, they came in person. It started with a knock. I opened the door of my new rental unit, already regretting it. It was Mom. She looked exhausted, makeup smeared, eyes bloodshot, coat buttoned wrong, like she'd dressed in a rush. Behind her, Ryan stood with his arms crossed, and Dad hovered a few feet back, silent. "We need to talk," she said. "No, we don't," I replied and started to close the door. She pushed back with her hand. "You blindsided us." "No," I said calmly. I protected myself. "There's a difference. You humiliated your family," she snapped. "Ryan didn't deserve that." I laughed. "Oh, he didn't deserve to be handed a printed list of everything I did for him? He didn't deserve a little honesty for once?" Ryan stepped forward, his voice raised. "You ambushed me. You could have talked to me like a man. You mean like you talked about me on the phone to your buddy, calling me a failure who owes Mom?" I shot back. "Like that?" He went red. "That was a joke. It was a pattern," I said. "You used me for a year, probably longer." I finally said no. "You don't like that." Dad spoke up for the first time. "You didn't need to blow it all up. The party, the apartment, the folder. The folder was the only thing that made you listen," I said. "You weren't going to stop until I burned the bridge." Mom looked at me with that tight, angry smile she used when she was about to guilt-trip me. "We're your family. And I'm not your servant," I snapped. "You don't get to show up here and pretend I owe you an explanation. I don't." She looked like she was about to slap me, but instead, she took a deep breath and stepped back. "You'll regret this. One day, you'll look back and see how selfish you were." "No," I said, stepping back inside. "One day, you'll look back and realize you lost the only person who ever held this mess together." And I closed the door. For the next few days, I braced for more. And they came, just in different forms. Texts. Guilt-tripping emails. A few "we just want to talk" voicemails. Ryan even tried to send the kids over with a card, "We miss you, Uncle." I didn't answer. I started therapy instead. I began fixing my finances. I got a second account, disconnected my old credit card, and changed all passwords. I told my boss I needed time. She gave me a week off, no questions asked, and for once, I spent time doing nothing for anyone else. Then came the twist. A week after the blow-up, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Normally, I wouldn't pick up, but something told me to answer. "Hello?" A pause, then a soft voice. "Is this Michael?" "Yes, my name is Karen. I'm Kelly's sister." My stomach turned. "Kelly, Ryan's ex, the mother of the kids. I hope this isn't a bad time," she said gently. "I just wanted to thank you." "For what?" "For everything you did for those kids, for Kelly, and even for Ryan, even though he never appreciated it." I didn't know what to say. She continued. "Kelly told me everything, about the money, the moving plans, the party, the folder. She said she never wanted them to move in with you, that Ryan did all that behind her back." I froze. "What?" "She only found out when the boys came back crying, saying they couldn't go to Uncle Michael's anymore. She was furious, said he had no right. She wanted me to tell you she's sorry for everything." I sat there in silence, gripping the phone. Karen hesitated. "I don't know if you know this, but Ryan tried to take out a loan in your name." My blood ran cold. "What?" "Kelly found the paperwork. He used your info." She stopped it, threatened to call the police. "He backed down, but you should probably check your credit report." I didn't speak. Karen continued, her voice shaking a little. "I know you're done with them, and honestly, you should be. But I just wanted to say thank you for not becoming like the rest of them." Then the line went dead. I sat for a long time. Then I opened my laptop and pulled my credit report. Sure enough, there it was, a hard inquiry from a loan company I'd never contacted. He tried. He actually tried. And that folder, it saved me from something much worse. They thought I was dramatic, overreacting, cruel. But the truth? I got out just in time. I always thought cutting someone off would feel like violence, like slamming a door, like screaming, like burning a bridge and watching the flames dance in the dark. But the truth? It felt like silence. Big, deep, necessary silence. It's been a month now since I closed the door on them. My family, the party, the guilt, the never-ending expectations. I wake up in a different apartment. I walk different streets. I drink coffee alone, and no one asks me to pick up diapers on the way back. No one texts me about a quick transfer just this once. It's quiet but not empty. For the first time in years, the quiet feels like freedom. I started therapy seriously, told my story out loud, beginning to end, the part where I paid for everything, the part where my brother called me a failure behind my back, the part where my parents said I didn't need anything because I had no responsibilities. My therapist asked me something that hit like a freight train. What would happen if you stopped being useful? I knew the answer. They dropped me. They already had, because once I stopped paying, once I stopped bending, I stopped mattering. They didn't love me. They loved what I did for them. And that realization shattered something deep inside me. But when it broke, it made space. Space for me. My credit is locked now. My bank accounts are separate. I filed a report about the attempted loan fraud anonymously. Kelly messaged me again, asking if I wanted to press charges. I told her, no, I don't want revenge. I want distance. That's it. Ryan hasn't tried to reach me since. Neither has Mom or Dad. The last thing they ever sent me was a group text. You're dead to this family. It should have hurt, but it didn't. It felt like someone finally said out loud what had always been true. And then something unexpected happened. A week ago, I got an email from Ryan's ex-wife, Kelly. Subject line, thank you. She told me she filed for full custody, that she'd moved out of state with the boys, that she found a better job, a better school, a better life. She wrote, I always thought you were the quiet one, the background guy. But now I realize you were the only stable one. You held everything together while the rest of us used you. I'm sorry I didn't speak up sooner. The boys miss you. I'll never speak badly of you to them. If you ever want to write, they'd love to hear from you. I cried when I read it. Not because I wanted to be back in their lives, but because for the first time, someone saw me, really saw me and said it. Not you're selfish, not you're dramatic, not you owe us. Just thank you. That was more than I ever got from my own parents. I don't regret what I did. Selling the condo, best decision of my life. Cutting them off, long overdue. That folder? Honestly, it deserved a Pulitzer. Would I do it all again? In a heartbeat. They thought they broke me. They thought I'd come crawling back, that I'd feel guilty, that I'd feel alone. But here's the truth. I don't feel alone. I feel clean. I feel whole. I feel like for the first time in my life I own something they can never take. Myself. If you're reading this and you feel like your family only calls when they need something, if you've ever missed your own life, because you were living someone else's, if helping turned into a lifestyle you never agreed to, I want you to know something. You're allowed to leave. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to pack up, walk out, and never come back. You're allowed to put the folder on the door and disappear. You don't owe them your life because you share their blood. You don't owe them your silence. You owe yourself everything you've been giving away. And when they call you selfish, smile.